In today's video, we're going to apply the idea of the parable of the Good Samaritan Jesus gave in the Bible in today's modern world. At the end, we will learn what Jesus was truly trying to teach us from that parable. Stick with me till the end of this video, because the main lesson is at the end. I promise, you won't waste your time. Once upon a time, a man was driving down a busy street when he saw a person lying on the sidewalk. He slowed down to see if they were okay. When he stopped, he noticed the person looks injured. He rolled down his window and asked, "Hey, are you okay? Can I help?" The person on the ground looked up and said, "Yeah, I'm fine. I just slipped and scraped my knee. Can you lend me $20 so I can get an Uber home?" "Sure." The driver handed over some cash and continued on his way. Out of the blue, he again spotted a little girl sitting on a park bench, looking a bit teary-eyed. He slowed down, stepped out of his car and approached her, asking, "Hey there, what's wrong? Do you need a hand?" The girl looked up with big, watery eyes and replied, "I lost my puppy. He ran off, and I can't find him anywhere." "Oh no, that's so sad," he exclaimed. "Let's go look for him together." With a smile, the girl nodded, and off they went, searching high and low, calling out for the little pup, and later found it. The joy she had after finding her pup meant so much to him. Then, she appreciated him, after which he left to continue his way. Cruising down the street, he spotted another person sitting on the curb, looking a bit out of sorts. He pulled over and asked, "Hey there, everything all right? Need a hand?" The person glanced up and replied, "Oh, I'm okay. Just had a little mishap with my bike. Any chance you could spot me $25 for a ride home?" Without a second thought, he said, "Absolutely," and handed over the cash before hopping back in his car, feeling good about lending a hand. As he drove through the bustling streets, his mind wandered to all the people he had encountered that day, each with their own stories and struggles, each one needing a bit of kindness. And this thought gave him a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. He felt much valuable for being a blessing to others when they needed it, and for that, he resolved to keep doing more and more of such to whoever that is in need. Have you heard this story I just narrated before? Well, it's a twist on the classic parable of the Good Samaritan, but it makes a powerful point about compassion. We live in a day and age where people don't care about others. They only care about themselves. But Jesus taught us that we should love our neighbors as ourselves. Sometimes showing love means giving money to someone who needs it more than we do, or even giving words of encouragement. Luke chapter 10, verses 25 to 37 reads, "Just then a lawyer stood up to test Jesus and said, 'Teacher, what is the law of Moses? Who is my neighbor?' Jesus answered, 'There was a man who fell among thieves. They stripped him of his clothing and beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. Now, priest happened to be going down that road, but when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. In the same way, a Levite came to where he was, but he also passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, while traveling, came up to him, and seeing him, had compassion. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring oil and wine on them. Then he put him on his own donkey, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day he got some money, gave it to the innkeeper and told him, 'Take care of him. Whatever more you spend on him, I will pay you back on my return.' Which of these three do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell among the thieves?" The lawyer replied, "The one who showed him kindness." Jesus said to him, "Go and do likewise." Now, just to explain the passage I just read, let's consider the main point of the passage, which is the question, who is our neighbor? Notice that Jesus didn't answer the lawyer's question directly. Instead, he told him a story about a man who was beaten up by thieves and left half dead on the side of the road. 3 religious leaders came across this man, but they ignored him. They didn't even acknowledge his humanity. They didn't care about him. But a Samaritan, a member of a despised group in Israel, came across the man and had compassion on him. He helped him, cared for him, and then paid for his lodging out of his own money. Jesus didn't answer his question because the lawyer wanted to know who he didn't have to help. And Jesus didn't want to limit the scope of the lawyer's understanding, as well as we too, who are reading and learning from the story today. You see, there's no list of people who were required to love. Jesus actually wants us to understand that we should love all people. So, who is our neighbor? Our neighbor is anyone we have the opportunity to help. It must not be someone we know. Even those we don't know, we are expected to show love to them. On a normal circumstance, The Samaritan had every reason not to help the wounded man, because according to how Israel was as at then, Samaritans are considered different from Jews. They were not in good terms, and the wounded man happened to be a Jew. So, the Samaritan would have just decided to pass by, but he kept every differences aside and showed love. Do you remember the first time you heard the gospel? Did someone show you God's love? Let us know in the comment section. Also, let us know what you think about how the Good Samaritan speaks to modern acts of kindness. Would you like to see more videos like this? If so, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video.